Hello. Good evening, everybody, and thanks for tuning in to a Woo Wednesday, a highly anticipated Woo Wednesday, if I may say so myself. I am Lady Woo. I guess you know that because this is Woo Wednesday. So a little history about what that is. It sounds good. Woo Wednesday just sounds good. But it's a day where I take time to come to you guys live on any platform, be it Facebook. I used to do Twitter. I would tweet on Woo Wednesdays, and it used to even be an event. And what better way to culminate this Woo Wednesday with somebody who's notorious for events, somebody that has supported me through events. We've supported each other, attended each other's events, and this is why a lot of you all know her. But the story goes way deeper. She's way more than just a promoter or an event host or a club owner. She's a sister of Birmingham and a friend of ours. And tonight in Woo Wednesday, I have the honor of interviewing and chatting with, we call each other cousin. I don't even know how we started that, but my cousin, our friend, and one of our main girls, Miss Mimi Williams. So Mimi, welcome to Woo Wednesday, boo.
Thanks, baby.
How are you? I'm good. I'm really good. I'm looking down because we are already getting comments. So I just wanted to see.
Wow.
Oh, okay. Good chat. Looking forward to a good chat. Be sure to post how to get a book. Okay, so yeah, we're going to do that, guys. We're going to post everything you need so that you can get a book, you can read the story, you can know what's going on. We're going to do that. But before we do any of that, Mimi Williams.
Hi, bro.
So, you know how people are. Like, they want to get straight to it. They want to hear the tea. They want to know the gossip. They want to know, like, what makes this a must read. But I feel like for people to really know, like, what makes it a must read, they have to know who you are, like behind Desire Inc., behind the vault, and all of that. Who are you as a person? So who are you?
I'm a person that loves my city, that loves to give back. Y'all have to excuse me if I feel a little down today. I'm just dealing with a lot of pain from my car wreck, because still working on issues with that. But native of Birmingham, and I just love my city. I love giving back to everybody and trying to help everybody that I can. That's something I've been doing for years. You know that background too as well, Woo. Just a humble, just laid back, fun person to be around and be with.
Absolutely. Grandmother.
Yes. Grandmother of 6, Lord have mercy, 6. 5 boys and 1 girl.
One baby girl, grandma.
Yes.
And like the family is really supportive with the book. They first faces I saw walking into the book signing were the girls.
Yes.
And you know, so I love that support and the fact that they know. I'm sure they've read it.
And they've been through it. They went through it with me. So
they were there.
They knew everything that was going on from the beginning to the end. Because one thing about me, I don't hide anything from my kids. Me and my girls especially. Now, with Curtis, I have to hide stuff from him because that would have been a total different issue.
Absolutely. Mothers and sons is always different. Yeah.
He would have handled everything in a total different way. And recently, I just told him before I did the book signing about some of the stuff that was in there, because he didn't know, and he wasn't happy at all. He was really mad at me, but was
he mad? Was he mad at you for telling, or for what you were going through and he didn't know?
What I was going through and he didn't know.
Yeah,
that's what he was very upset about that.
I know you mentioned that, like at the book signing, how you know those of you who are close to me may be bothered by some things. You may be upset about some of the things that you're going to read. I guess the big question is, what made you put your most personal situations on these pages? Like, what made you say, I need to write this and share it with the world?
Right. First off, while I was dealing with him in Huntsville for a year when I moved there, it was just so many problems. After we got married, it was like he turned into a whole different person than the one I was already dealing with, and it was worse. And I just felt like I was losing my mind because he didn't want me, coming back to Birmingham. He was telling me, that's your old life. You live here in hospital with me. So you stay here. He'll get mad if I go see my doctor. You need to do this. You need to do that. I haven't had my doctor for over 15 years, and I'm not going to stop seeing him to go to somebody else that don't know my body.
Right.
So he act like he didn't understand that. But even to go see my kids or family and friends to come up to visit me up there, he would like get mad about all of that. So I just didn't understand it. So that's why I started seeing a therapist up there for a whole year. And when I was coming back home, she had told me that what all I was dealing with and what I will be dealing with after coming back home. And so she told me to start writing my feelings, my pain, my hurt, my anger, and all down on paper. And so I just started writing it on my phone, because I don't like, getting a piece of paper. I just write everything on my phone.
Yeah.
So then one day I was just looking back over it while I was looking for a therapist here. And I was like, wow, this read like a book. So I called my girlfriend, Brinkley Fuller, up, which I know, she's published and edited books before. So
That's a great click.
So she laughed. And she really laughed at me at first, Woo, and she was like, "You want to write a book, Yon?" I was like, "Exactly. I don't know nothing about writing a book." So she was like, "Oh my God!" She was like, "But send me what you got, and we'll see what what we can do with it." So I was like, "Okay." So she called me back the next day, and she was like, "Girl, oh my God!" She was like, "Send me the rest of it." And I was like, "For real?" She was like, "Yeah." She was like, "I want to fight. I want to cry. I just want to hug you." She was like, "Send me the rest." I was like, okay. So, and that's how it became the book, because
How it became the book.
Right.
And you said, like you said, this reads like a book. So as I'm reading the book, I'm like, this reads like a journal entry. So I see how you would have been inspired to write a book. Let's get straight to the book. So, when I tell you, it's one of those reads. Like, I always talk about how my parents found my diary when I was 16. And I'm like, why would you keep reading once you saw close it? It was that type of situation for me in this book. Okay. I was like, what? So a lot of it, like I told you, a lot of it, because of our relationship, I was rather privy to, but to see it on pages, I'm like, okay. Wow. So the cover of the book, the fourth wife, like if I'm number 4, quite naturally, I'm thinking like, no, those are some super waving red flags. Like, oh, so how did you even go forth after hearing, I'll be number 4, even as a girlfriend? Like, those are questions that come up early on. Like, you've been married 3 times. Tell me about it.
It came in the beginning. On our first date, I asked him about it, and he was like, I was like, 3 wives for real? And he was like, yeah. No, I had asked him, has he been married before? After he asked me, I told him once with my kid's dad, and then I was like, have you? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, well, how many times? And he was like, 3. He was like, but my first one, it was with his kid's mom from high school. So, coming out at 17, 18 years old, getting married and stuff. So I got that.
Trying to do the right thing. Yeah.
So the second one was, he said he tried it again, trying to get it right, because he was young with the first one. So I was like, okay. So I got that one as well. But he said with the third one, him and his girlfriend had went to Vegas and got drunk and went to a chapel and got married. But as soon as they came back home, he told me they got it annulled. So I was like, oh, okay. So really, to me, basically, he was only married twice. To me, that was me. But I found out in the end, before I left, it was a total different situation.
So that's not, so you are the 4th, technically, but the stories are way more in depth than what he gave you.
Yes, it is. Well, he was married to her for almost 2 years.
Oh, okay. So, okay. Like we get bits and pieces and we can put it together. But the whole idea of this interview is not to give you guys the full story. We actually want you to get the book and read it for yourself. But you can flip through a memoir. You can look at the front of it and say, well, yeah, I remember when she posted that picture on Facebook. This was a real wedding picture. Like, I remember seeing posts and seeing him and things like that. So just making it real when you get into the pages. But then the tagline says he still ain't get it right.
Still.
What is it that, when you think about relationships and marriage and things like that, What is it that they're supposed to get right? Like, what is it that he got wrong all the other times, and what didn't he get right? What were the expectations?
The expectations for me, like when I moved to Huntsville with him, I sold my house. I left my kids and my family and my business.
Mhm.
That to me, if I'm giving that much love to you, I want that same love or more that you're giving back to me. So,
Yeah.
and it's a difference, Woo, when you're dealing with a narcissist, which I found that out before I left Huntsville with my therapist there. It's a total
Hmm.
difference than just a regular relationship. Dealing with a narcissist is just so much that you go through, and it's like they pull you in. I mean, just loving you when they first meet you, and I mean, it's just like everything is right. But then it's like
Hmm.
once they got you, and that's why it's so hard. It's just so hard to let go because of how I love, and
And that
plus,
foundation, what you think is foundation.
yes, yes,
Hmm.
because I had been
So,
single for years, Woo.
so to take the risk, do you feel like the relationship, or like you jumped out and took a risk to be with Chris?
Um, I didn't feel in the beginning it was a risk for me because I fell in love with him because I thought I was being showed the true person that I thought I was falling in love with, but it wasn't the true person that I fell in love with.
Hmm. That can be so devastating because we think about like, all right, I've been single, I've been good, things have been fine, I'm living my life, I'm managing, I'm still modeling, I'm still managing, I'm still traveling, I'm living, I'm good, my family is good, and I want to get into this relationship. I get
Mhm.
into this relationship and I end up writing a book about it. Everybody's seeing me leave and come back and leave and come back, and it's just not stable. Um, when you come out of your comfort zone. So the way this interview goes, we're talking about some topics that are DMR, which is our dating, mating, and relating on Vital. And you think about how you recover from relationships and you get into a new one. What were some of the things that he told you that made you think that this is him? This is my go at all that. What made you say that? What were some
Girl,
things that he did and said?
the way even when we first started dating, how he would like take me on picnics at the
Mm-hmm.
botanical gardens, showing, loving on my grandkids. It was just like he was like the perfect man, you know,
Yeah.
would help me out, just being around me. It's like it's rare that you find a man that just want to be around you like every day. I mean, just stuck up under you, even like in bed, like. And it was like it was a weird to me, but it was kind of cute. Well, like he would like hold on to my forehead, like one let didn't want me to even get out the bed, And even if I did have to go pee
Oh,
or something, he would like grab me and like, "Where are you going?" I'm just like, "I just gotta pee." And he was
so
like, "Okay."
pause. It was cute, kind of, sort of, but it was still something about it that was a bit much.
Yes, it was because I never had nobody just hold, when you were in the bed with your man and like hold, wrap around, put their arm around you, that
Yeah.
feels good. But when they got you in a headlock like that, it was just a little weird for me.
Like, this is different, but I'm gonna try to stay and figure it out. I like
Yes.
this love. I'm
'Cause
getting
we was
so
the
much
total
love.
opposite. Yes, we was the total opposite. You know where I'm from, you know how I act, I'm fun, I'm loving, I'm outgoing, but he's like the laid back, chill, don't, really talk, don't want his business out, he don't
Oh,
like,
it's all the way out now.
oh yeah, yeah,
And,
yeah,
and then I noticed that you said that he called you ratchet and ghetto. So like you look at it as
yeah,
I'm fun and outgoing, and he saw it as something totally different. He didn't see the
yeah.
true personality.
And I was like, what you want me to be bougie like you? And he was like, yeah, I prefer that. I was just like, but who would like to be
Oh,
called bougie? I don't like being bougie. I'm not a bougie person. I'm just a fun person. I just like to enjoy people. But to me, he is not a people person. Once I look at it, it's more like he only uses the people for what he want them, to do for him. That's the only reason he'll be that nice to you because he's really not a people person for real.
so when you think about how the relationship even started, I know we're talking, we're getting into it, and I know people have questions, and we will get to those as well. Thank y'all for tuning in. But what was it in the beginning then? Like that's I have to stay on that part, because if you're not bougie and I can call you, you know, ghetto, ratchet, whatever, if I can call you those things, what did I truly want from you in the beginning? Like
Yes,
what have you discovered? What do you
yes.
think that was? What did he want?
Um, and it's so funny because his ex-girlfriend before me, she
Mm-hmm.
called me on my birthday this year, well, a couple of weeks ago. And when she told me who she was, it kind of blew me away, woo, because I'm just like, only thing that kept thinking on me was like, damn, how'd she get my number?
Mm.
So I was like thinking, you know, like, okay, did he put her up to this? Because I know they still had a good relationship, you know, still
Okay.
friends because, you know, he said they were still friends. That's what he told me. But
Yeah.
she was like more, she was like, I just wanted to get more clarity. And she was like, thank you, because my girlfriend had told me to I need to read your book. And she was like, when I did, she was like, oh my God, because she's like, I felt crazy at times, you know, thinking more of the stuff was me. Like if I was the
Mm.
problem and this and that, and I was just like, I know the feeling. So she called me the other night and we talked for almost 3 hours on the phone. And some of the stuff that we went talked about and discussed, it's crazy, Woo. It is
Why
crazy.
does that always why is that always like the thing? I talked to another one, I talked to his ex, and I got so much, like, why do we do that?
Girl, I don't
How does
know.
that come about?
But I don't know. But you know, I love it because, and I wish we could be more protective of each other as
It's
women and stuff.
necessary. It's
Because just
necessary.
like the song, what was it, Whitney Houston, and what's her name saying, same script, different play.
Okay. Oh, I thought you meant the other one. It's all right, but it's okay. Oh.
Same script, different play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different
Well, she,
cast. Yeah.
yeah, different cast. That's it. Yes, that is it. Yes,
Mhm.
and it was crazy.
So same, very similar stories.
The same. She was like, you just got, she's like, I feel bad for you. She was like, but you are a strong black woman because I couldn't, she was like the rest of us, we just didn't say nothing. We kept quiet and kept our feelings to ourselves. And I was just like, I told her, I said, well, nothing but God on my end, because, you know, at first I wasn't going to say anything. I was just going to come home and not say nothing. But
Yeah.
God led me another way.
We'll come back around to that at the end. Um, Couples and social media. I noticed throughout the book that that was a big issue, like the inbox, the direct messages. That was a big thing for you guys.
Yeah.
Um, tell me about that part, and then I ask a therapeutic question for those of you who don't know. I am a licensed therapist as well, so a lot of this conversation comes from that view. I'm a couples and family therapist, so this is like really my vein of work. But you lived it. So
Yes.
you lived it. This is your experience. Social media and your relationship and what it did.
Social media with him, it always had to be positive, you know, for him, for me to post anything, because that's all he wanted to post, like his wife, you know, his son. But you know, me in my industry, you know, with me posting, you know, different stuff on
Yeah.
my parties and stuff like that, I even had to go like and delete pictures, like if somebody reshared some pictures of me and them or a guy,
Mhm.
and he would like delete that, untag yourself, your breasts are on him, you know, all type of stuff, even old videos that I have been in, you know, he was
Yeah.
like, you married now, who want to see that, you know, because they are reshared that video. He was like, that's just so fucking disrespectful, delete that. I'm your husband, you don't need to be rekindling on stuff like that. I was like, that was a video, that was work,
Wow.
that I wasn't involved with none of them. That's
Were
work.
you doing that before you met him?
Yes, I was. I was doing
We know
all of
this.
the event, the parties, the promotions, all of it. And in the beginning, I asked him. I said, you know what all I do. I said,
Hmm.
and I said, you know all my celebrity friends. I said, you know who I be around. And I was like, can you handle my lifestyle? And he was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I can handle it. So I was like,
That's
and that's
always
what
the answer in the
I
beginning, huh?
yeah, fell for
Hmm.
it. Yeah.
Ah. So before we fall any deeper, I want to add another vital crew member, a great friend of mine, a co-therapist as well, to kind of take that side of the conversation. So tonight I'm only taking the Lady Wu side of the conversation as far as just conversation, like really having a conversation with Mimi about the book and about some of the themes in the book. Courtney Shields is going to chime in with us tonight and get into that side of it. I know, Mimi, you mentioned that, and I love the way that you advocated for mental health and couples therapy and individual therapy in the book. So I'm going to add Courtney to the conversation. What's up, sis?
Hey, I am here.
Welcome.
Hey, Mimi, I'm back. Now I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah. So we were just talking about the whole social media thing with couples and relationships, and I know, like in a side group, and Mimi, this is gonna bring out. I'm gonna bring the red table out. So we know this past week, Will and Jada and August Alsina and social media and pictures and tweets and what everybody else had to say was a big story. So the question that I was just asking to Mimi Courtney was just about how much of a problem social media caused in their relationship. Like the inbox and the infidelity, like almost internet infidelity is a thing. I want to coin that. I think that's a thing. So before you chime in with that, Courtney, Mimi, how much of a problem did that play in your relationship?
Oh my God. Let's go to him and his fraternity brothers and their group on their Facebook page. The day I found all that out in the book, you know, that was so disgusting. That was the first time I found most of it. And that was a hard day for me. That was a really hard day for me to see that, you know, my man was sleeping. They 50 to 100 women a year. That's disgusting.
Like outside, like while you all were already in a relationship, this was happening.
Yeah. And they posting pictures of the girls in there. Like I told you, when you get a chance, go to the Fourth Wife group. I done posted some pictures and some stuff in there from that website. And it was just a lot to deal with that day. That day, he could have lost his life that day if it weren't for my cousin Danny talking me down.
Yeah, because the betrayal that comes with something that I had no clue was happening, and then I find it all at my fingertips, and I can sit here, like I said at the beginning, and continue to read and draw two and two together, or I can stop reading and just act as if I didn't see anything. That's difficult. That's super difficult. Courtney, you got something?
So I heard the intro from me. So what I don't want to do is step on the toes of your therapist. And like Wu said, I am so thankful that you advocated for, you know, the work that we do all throughout the book.
It's needed, especially when you're dealing with a narcissistic person. It is needed.
Mm-hmm. So, and if this isn't a question that you already answered, when did you realize that there were traits about him that was like, at, at what point did you start to notice that, yeah, I don't know about that, or
Red
something
flag.
that's red flag? Yeah.
When it was, we started dating in January 2016. I'll say probably 5 to 6 months in.
Okay.
And the red flags started coming in, and I tried to walk away at one point, but ended up going back because I
Why do we
missed.
always go back?
I missed. I haven't had love in a long time, and the way he was, showing me, different, just loving me hard in the beginning, and it was just me. I fell hard for him, real hard. Yeah.
So like after that fall, like I've fallen and I can't get up.
And I'm there. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was watching a video the other day, which I posted on my page. An empath and a narcissist are two totally wrong people to be together. And I was crying while I was listening to that video, and I reshared on both pages because that man read me up and down. He read me up and down.
So you say that. So for the people that are listening, as late as you possibly can, if you can kind of explain, even just from your personal experience, what that means an empath and a narcissist, like how those two
An
things are.
empath, an empath is more of a person that loves hard. They give, they're humble, they have a giving heart. And a narcissist is one that will bring you down, gaslight you, talk about you, and just make you feel like, that you're to them, you need to just be more worried about them, and they don't want you thinking on yourself. And it's just so much, and it's a lot of signs that comes with a narcissist. And it's a lot to deal with, y'all.
So as an empath though, so as an empath, being with someone that you feel is narcissist, you felt like I'm helping, I'm taking care of, I am empathizing with, with all this person, with everything that this person is bringing. And so it felt like and I'm asking, so it felt like from your perspective, like this is the woman that I'm supposed to be in this moment to,
Yeah, and it was more like he was like, "You just gonna leave me like everybody else do? You ain't gonna love me enough to stay with me, And as he used to always tell me, that I was like, "We can get through anything." I was like, "You just gotta want it, Let's go to therapy." It got so bad where he was like trying to tell me I didn't do something. I was like, no, I did all this. And I was like, no, that's you. I said, you forgetting. So it got so bad that I recommended us going to see a neurologist and getting checked together.
Baby, I wrote that down. So I was like reading a book, like a notebook in a school book. I said neurologist. So this really got difficult. So
I
to
wanted to save my marriage. I wanted to try everything I could that I think that could be wrong. He was like telling me I'm forgetting. I was like, no, you twisting it. So it just felt like, and I used to work in neurology, so at UAB for 6 years, and I was like, I'm gonna try everything that I know that's possible to try to save this marriage, because something is just not clicking right. So I tried my best to do everything.
I have something that speaks to that. And thank you for, what Courtney as sharing your opinion and your experience of being an empath in a relationship with a narcissist. I talk about all the time how people use, cliche therapeutic terminology like narcissist, OCD, just different catchphrases and things that we like truly work with, that people would just say, oh, you bipolar. No, this is something different.
Yeah.
So I thank you for sharing that and giving it this is your idea of what that was. This is your experience. But I didn't ask him. I didn't ask for him. You got what you wanted me to have. As far as like the whole neurologist piece, and like we're going in circles. You're saying things and I'm starting to feel crazy being with you, and I'm losing myself in being with you. But I'm still here. I'm staying. Yeah. So like you said that, I would fall in love. I would move away and I stop talking to him for a minute. Then I come back. Then I move away again. Then I stop answering. Then I come back. I love this man so much so that he had proposed once before.
Yes.
Apparently he loved you too. If that's what we want to call it.
He proposed to me was because that's the first time was because I found all that in the laptop.
Yeah. So he proposed to fix the wrongs that had already happened.
Yes.
You understood that. So what was your answer? Like, what was your answer?
No. I told him no.
Okay, so no the first time.
Yeah, no the first time. But he came back with, I'm sorry, I love you. I'll do whatever it takes. I'll get off social media, because he was always flirting with women on social media, Facebook, Instagram. He was like, I promise you I'll stop. I'll deactivate all my social media for you. I'll do all this. Just, just give me another chance. And that's and my body, like when I broke it off, when I did accept the second engagement. Then I called it off again, but he was still texting with other women and stuff. But I left that time. But that time it was like my body had stressed out so bad. It was like I didn't know how to be without him, that I was like breaking out in webs all over my body. It was like no place was excluded. My lips blew up, my eyes were swelling, and I have pictures of all that. I'll be posting all that too soon, the Fourth White Group, on Facebook as well. But my body couldn't handle being without him. So, and that's when I met up with
Or
him.
was it the stress of being with him?
It's true too, because I could have been
Like, what
thinking
is this really?
my brain. Well, I went to see a doctor, the allergist doctor, and she told me it was chronic stress. So it could have been that too as well. But me, I'm thinking, because I'm not around him, that's the reason I'm stressing out.
Yeah.
So
It's-
I'm sorry, and so because I feel like there's so much that's just coming up for me that I'm like, I want to go this angle, I want to go that angle, but I think it's important for me to understand what mental space that you're in now. I know you're talking about, I know you're sharing things in your group. I know you've written this book. But I would like to know just as candidly as possible, because you can still, like, I can see the nonverbal, like it's still, your presence feels heavy, it
yeah.
feels like there's so much still there. And so I think that, it's important to recognize that before you start delving too much without
Mm-hmm.
had this space together before. So where are you right now?
Right now, besides dealing with the PTSD and the depression, still with the pain from my car wreck, because it's a lot of issues going on with that. And since I released the book, it just opened up. It opened me back up again to what I've been going through.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
These are the moments. These are the moments that, when you say, "Hey, I'm having a book signing and I'm telling my story." That's why family shows up in droves, not just to buy the book, but to stand with you in moments where I'm gonna like voluntarily be vulnerable.
right. And y'all
And
did.
so, yeah, for sure. So then that's why, we open up this interview with, well, what would make you write a book? Like, what would make you publish this? Because this is now your truth out for everybody to read. It's not this 600, 700 page doc. It's not that, but it's enough for you to understand that there was a lot of hurt and betrayal and just disgust and things like that. So, like, what is it that you want people to get from you sharing? Like, I can go back and honestly say sharing your journal, like your personal thoughts and experiences.
What I want to do with this book, and it has already started before I even released it, to help people, to help men and women understand these relationships that some are still in right now, or some that has dealt with this type of narcissist in relationships, because a lot of people don't know the difference between, just a bad relationship or being in a narcissistic relationship. And I'm just trying to give knowledge and help people who I can. I done had so many people calling me and texting me. Even today, it never stopped. It never stopped from the beginning. My inbox full, men and women, text messages and calls. Today, somebody I grew up with messaged me, and she was like, "I read your book," and she was like, "You inspired me, and you just gave me the courage to call my wedding off."
Mm.
The wedding is in 72 days. And she started crying, and she was like saying she's going through some of the same things I was going through, and she just wanted to thank me because I gave her that courage to walk away from him.
Girl, see, so I I'm having mixed emotions at the moment just for so many different reasons. But one thing that comes up for me, Courtney, and we talk about this stuff all the time, just as it relates to other couples and then even ourselves, when we think about who we decide to be with, or like when we make the decision to be with somebody, like how do you even get into that much baggage to make a decision that, hey, I'm going to go forth with this relationship? Like it's just like you have to learn these things as you go. But if I'm learning them as I go, like how far in do I get before I realize that, hey, this is not healthy. This is not what I thought that I needed. Like, why is that so many people's story? And I wonder about that. So like that really struck me that somebody would call their wedding off after reading what you experienced. So that means that this is not just an isolated issue. This is a thing. This is a thing for our generation.
It is.
And you may have shared this, Mimi, but so I think just like what happened with the book. So, somebody reads a book and says and sees so much that's, resembles what they're going through. And they say, okay, like if she can do this, I'd have the strength to get out of it too. So for somebody that has not read the book, somebody that is not necessarily in the experience that you were in, but is potentially on the verge of walking into that, for you, what was that moment? And this may be in the book, but what was that moment that you were like, okay, I'm this right here was the straw for me? Because for everybody, it's so different. You know what I'm saying? And like to
we have a lot of straws.
And everybody's straw is different. And so somebody may look at, your situation and be like, oh, she could have, gave it just another extra try. Somebody may look at it and say, okay, back in 2016, the first time she said no, it should have been done, so the spectrum is different for everybody. But sometimes when people can relate to a moment, then there's kind of the light bulb may go off. So for you, if you can share like the moment that was like, it's either me or him, you know what I'm saying? Like if it's like, this is survival for me if I don't do it, what was kind of happening then? What pushed you to, I'm done?
And you're right, it was between life or death. And that was the night he put his hands on me and punched me in my face. I dealt with domestic violence with my kid's dad. So when I said I never let another man put his hands on me again. So when it came to, and I had been with him for 4 years almost then, yeah. And he has never just hurt me. It was always verbal, verbal abuse, putting me down and all that. But when he put his hands on me, that's when I knew it was time for me to go, because I could have snapped at that point and killed him. But, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I called a friend, my other friend that was counseling us too as well, and he calmed me down. But a lot of people were like, why that could have been self-defense for you. You could have just fuck that. You could have just that's straight self-defense. But a lot of people don't know. With my close friends and my family, I dealt with that growing up because my mom had killed my stepdad, and I know how it feels, being without your mom, and my grandkids being without their grandma. So I didn't want to repeat that cycle. So that kept me from doing that.
Wow.
And see, those are the nuggets that you don't get the full story of in the book. But once you can kind of go into these places, and I once again appreciate you for saying, yeah, cuz we can do this. Like, this is not for book sales. This is actually to impart some knowledge and help somebody else, and to give me the platform to give her story in a way that, somebody else that would conduct an interview may not go about it this way. Like, we are two professionals in the mental health field that can actually go to some things that others of you may be dealing with. So like, I'm grateful for you to open up in the way that you have tonight. And this is not even a 2-hour or 3-part interview. This is just something very surface, just to get you guys familiar with the fourth wife. That's who you've been. That's not all that you are, but that's who you've been. So that's the story that we get tonight.
Right. And I just want to tell everybody, like, you can't get through this on your own. You can't. I know I didn't. That's why I had to find another therapist, because my primary doctor here, he was like, you got to get some help. And he sent me to the psychiatrist first. And then the psychiatrist set me up with the therapist so I can continue talking to her. Anytime I want to talk to her, weekly, every other day, she was just there, and she's still here. Now we do video chats like this because of COVID, but it really helped people. They just don't know. I think if a lot of people go and talk to somebody and just get this stuff, the problems and what they're going through in life, even with pandemic right now, if they just open up and talk to somebody, especially to someone, it helps. It really helps a lot.
Absolutely.
And and a lot of people think, just because you see a psychiatrist, that means you're crazy. It doesn't. Or a therapist, it doesn't. It helps you.
Yeah, I mean, you take medication for your allergies in hopes that they'll clear up. You take medication for a headache, hoping that that'll stop. So yeah, I need to suppress these symptoms, and I need to talk to somebody. So yeah, I'm applauding you for sharing that as well. A quick pause for the cause. If they want to go ahead and get the book, like right now at this moment, where can they go?
They can go on Amazon.com and just type in The Fourth Wife or Mimi Williams, Meme Williams. But if you're local in Birmingham, I'm going to be posted up at the Vault and other different locations that I put in the Fourth Wife group. I can come meet you, or you can come pick one up from wherever I am.
Perfect. So yeah, follow the group, stop by the Vault, go ahead and go on Amazon now. So a few more minutes, about 15 more minutes. Abigail has a comment here that is very relevant. I want to share it. Nope, I see a psychiatrist and I'm doing a whole lot better now. Awesome. So thank you for sharing that, Abigail. What's up, Pinky? Vital Show. Hey, Jill. So we have a lot of people chiming in the conversation. It's about the book. It's about Mimi's relationship, her past relationship, but it's something that a lot of us can relate to in so many different ways, like just so many different ways. Lifestyle differences. This is something that this is something like I'm transparent in this moment, something that I've struggled with in relationships as well. If I'm out front, or if I'm social and I'm, working, and my line of work puts me out and gives me relationships that people may not understand. Well, how you know them? Duh. So like lifestyle differences. I noticed that in the book you mentioned your celebrity friends and, the trips, and we are able to stay in these places and do these things. And for him to ask you, why are you still trying to hold on to your old life? So this is a relationship thing. I have to stage my question so that everybody can find something in it that they can relate to. Why is it that before we engage in being exclusive or constant, we may not even be exclusive, we may just be entangled? Why is it that I have to change who I am or what I do or how I do what I do to be in this relationship? Courtney, is that fair to ask it that way?
I think it's a fair question, but I don't think the question is for us. I think it's for the men that they see this. Yeah, and it's like, I want that, because you got beautiful women, you got women that are, they have a platform. And so you're striking. Like I see that, like, yes, everybody sees how great that is, right? Once I obtain it, the male ego, it's real difficult for them to know that you still look like you have that kind of, other people have that kind of access to you. So it takes, as Mimi said, in the beginning, he said, oh, I can deal with this. But I think it takes a secure man to be able to see it, say, yeah, I like that. But once it's obtained, to be secure in it, like, this is my woman.
To maintain it.
Right. But I know that this is what she does. So no, I think it's a fair question. I think you worded it well. It's just not our question to answer. It's for those men that, like, you see that, you wanted that, it was shining and perfect, and then when you got it, you all of a sudden said it can't be that anymore. So
So
what?
It's
Mimi,
crazy
that's
what you
I
said
like
that.
that.
Yeah, because even when I took him to some of the concerts or whatever, like with Mystical and DJ KLC, they was like, they had a talk with him, like, bro, like this our baby sister, we love her to death, don't do nothing to hurt her, you got a jewel. And they was like, you have something people been trying to get, and
Mm-hmm.
she chose you. So make sure you take care of that jewel, because she is one. And he was like, yeah, I got her, but he didn't have me.
Right.
Wow. So I just, like people would see your pictures and stuff, and this is even me being a friend, like, ain't she married? Why she posting that picture? So like you talked about it a little bit with him asking the same questions. This is what I do. This is what I do. You opened up page 1 in the book explaining what this is what I do. This is what I do. This is what I do.
Right.
At what point in a relationship do you say, you know what? I'm gonna cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner for you. I'm gonna take pictures with a sports coat and some slacks on with a briefcase. Because this is never what you've done. You may have done some of those things, but like at what point is that necessary to do when you have someone who chose you and for what you already did?
Well, with me, even when we started, and I saw how some things were bothering him, that's why even at one point, even being at the vault on nights, I stopped taking pictures with males. I will only take pictures with females.
Wow.
I didn't get up and walk around and hug and talk to people like I was, because I didn't want, it got so bad I didn't want to hear his mouth, complaining about, well, who was he, who was that. I mean, it was just that bad, So it's crazy, y'all. I don't know.
A bit much. So now that you're out, now that you're free, now that the book is out,
Yes.
what now?
Um,
Say I'm doing the interview.
Right. I'm here, girl.
I'm trying right now. For me, I'm trying to get better from this car wreck. I got a lot of bad news today that I'm trying to process and get past that, and then getting the book out. I just want to talk to men and women to get more knowledge out there so they can be safer, because some narcissists, they can, it can turn out bad, you can get hurt like that dealing with them. And I just want to put the knowledge out there right now, because whatever, I just pray every day, and I just, ask God to just show me whatever I need to be doing to get the word out and help other people.
Okay. Courtney, what does she got? I got something else before we go, but what you got?
I just want to say this, and I'm sure that you've got a therapeutic circle around you that has probably said this, but I just want to encouraging you to do what you want to do with this platform, but also knowing that when you experience PTSD, so we've kind of learned the therapeutic world. It can be two ways. Some people, you can expose them to the trauma and start to heal them from that. But some people, exposure to the trauma is re-traumatizing. And so as you go through this new stage, like now the book's out, now everybody's getting
Right.
their own insight into, Mimi's world. Now you're super exposed. So I just want you to be comfortable with the moment where you say, no, I don't want to do that interview. I don't want to talk about it right now, because again, it, like you said, now the book's out, so I'm kind of having to relive it. So like I said, I know that you're doing your therapeutic stuff, but if that starts to come up for you, like, it is okay for you to be in control and say, okay, I need to pause. I need to let me take a step back and refresh, recover, rejuvenate, and then step back out there, because I do think that this is going to be heavy again for a minute now that, like you said earlier, like I feel like I'm reliving it. And
And
again,
I think like dealing with the like anxiety. Even I don't go out and drive as much no more because of the work. I was T-bone. at a stop sign, and when I'm driving, especially at nighttime, my anxiety just blows out the roof. You know, cars coming too close to me, and it'll all just trigger at one time. You know, that's why most of the time, which is to me, I just think is normal because well, it is not normal because with the pandemic outside, well, you need to stay in the house anyway. So that's kind of keeping me all right because I'm not trying to drive for real anyway. So, but the anxiety attacks, they will hit hard.
Yeah.
Just even thinking about stuff, and I have to pull even at the book signing. I didn't want to be there, y'all. And I'm going to be honest. I did not want to be there because I didn't know how I was going to feel. You know, I didn't know what could happen. It was just so much going through my head. I was having an anxiety attack. I couldn't stop moving. You know, when I sat down, my brain was just racing. Yeah. But I knew I just felt in my heart that I had to be there because, and Lexi, I told my daughter, and she was like, Mama, you got to get up and you got to do this. She was like, you helping people. You got to come on. Let's get it together. Let's pull together. You got to go do this. So that's when I was there. And when Woo and all of them showed up, and you know, they got me to get it turned into something totally different for me. And I mean, I love y'all so much because y'all got me to smiling. Y'all even tried to get me to dance, and I just like, oh, I can't right now. So,
and I was salty because I'm not on social media, so I saw the pictures after. I was like, okay, that's good. Really? Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So. Yeah.
It was definitely an experience to share that moment with you. Like a lot of people around us have written books and have told different stories in different parts of their lives. But to tell a story that involves somebody else's life as well, I think that's the part that everybody then will start asking about. Like, did you have any apprehension? Was it an agreement? Or was it just like, hey, this is my truth, regardless of whatever else? This is my story.
Yeah. And that's how did that part go? That's what I said in the beginning. This is my story. You know, I just want to help other people. I was like, you may read it a different way. This person may read it a different way, you know, but I'm just telling you my story. I'm not trying to hurt nobody. I'm not a bitter person. Well, you know, I'm not a bitter person. I can be petty at times, but I'm not a bitter person.
We all got that little petty.
Right. And like I told that in an interview before, you know, if I was a bitter person, I could have him lose his job. If I was a bitter person, that winery won't be opening because of stuff I know. I'm not that type of person to just take something away from somebody like that. That's not me. But that book is just my story.
All right. So your story might get you a spot on the Housewives of somewhere. It might get you, you know, on the couch. You know what I mean? We don't know where it would go because it's one of those things where I've exposed my truth. I've shared it. I've lived it. I'm still healing from it. So with that being that, why are they still popping fireworks on July 15th?
Wow. You hear that? What's shocking though? What's shocking me is that not even the second day the book came out, it became a bestseller. Like, I know a lot of people who put books out, and I just never seen it just blow the way this one is blowing.
Well, I'll tell you, Mimi, to that point. So Woo allowed me to read a little bit of her book, and I'm definitely going to purchase the book. And I was telling a girlfriend of mine that's from Birmingham too. She was like, I got to get it. So we'll be getting at least 2. But it was so raw. It was so like, it was like reading your journal or feeling like you were like in a conversation with your homegirl, you know? And so, and that was gravitating. Like you were like, wait, well, tell me, turn the page. What was on can you screenshot one? Hold on, like, give me some more. I think that's what people appreciate. Like, you know, it's like a lot of times you expect to open a book and it's, you know, perfectly published and edited. And, but I think that the realness in that is what is going to be so relatable to people. Like it was absolutely, like I said, it just felt raw. It really felt like you cut this open up. Yeah. Like I'm talking to my home. I mean, honestly. And so
she said, y'all, like she talked to us like, so look, at the book signing, Erica Slim Goody, Erica said, I read it in your voice. I read the whole book in your voice, Mimi. I said, see, so that's
And
how
she
you know,
knows
like people, yeah, like you know, and then even just putting yourself in these places with Mimi, like I can see it. So it's something that you can see. And it's very encouraging for those of us who have said, I got 5 or 6 books in me, but I don't know if I want to put them out. This right here, if she put it out the way that she put it out, using the words and talking about the themes that she talked about, you can do it too. You can tell your story.
Yes, and I
Tell your
had
story.
other people, men and women. It was like, I've been trying to write a book, or I have a book and I'm almost finished, but you inspired me to finish my book. How could I? And I sent them straight to Brinkley, and she was like, "Girl, oh my God!" She was like, "I'm getting calls from everywhere," and I was like, well, Brinkley, this may be your calling, So to help other people, so it's just keep going because.
And one other thing I would love to point out before we go, and I think you clarified that, because again, when I was reading pieces of it, it felt like indeed your story. I was like, it felt like, and this is just me being transparent. Like I was like, it's so much about, or it felt so much about him and his transgressions. But something I just heard you say and emphasize was, it's my story, and B is I'm not a bitter person. So to make sure that people know that like this is not about blasting him. This is not about bringing him down. Like that's not the space that I'm in. I'm in a space of healing myself and trying to help other people. So, one of my questions, was like, what in like what's the purpose behind the book? And so I just want to make sure that if the people that are listening, like that they hear that this ain't all about bringing the brother down. Like, no, this is my own healing. Like I'm not in a bitter place. I'm still hurting. I still, I still have a ways to go in this. But it, like you said, it's your story. It's your story and it's your
I had
healing.
another interview a couple of weeks ago, and I think it was on my Zoom, and I had a question asked, like, would I ever, if he apologized to me, would I forgive him? And I told them I would if he came and it was a genuine apology, that I would, because that's just me trying to be a better person and let God guide me on that end, because I don't want to lose any blessings that I have coming for blocking, not forgiving him. Even to where he came up under my book on Amazon.com and went into my reviews and changed his name to Maria Lopez, and tried to say that he was a woman and he dealt with domestic violence, and that it ended up in jail, and I dealt with all that.
Wow.
I just felt like he was still trying to control me through that message that he put up under my review, and he didn't even purchase it. Amazon let him do that review, and like 4 or 5 other his friends put those reviews on there without even purchasing the book. So, and that's still like that really bothered me that day, because you just don't mess with domestic violence. And I just felt like he was still trying to come after me doing stuff like that. And he just showed the world based on the stuff that I was saying, for him to even act like he was a woman up under there.
The nature of personality disorder is just, the way that we view the world very rationally and, from a place of some common sense. It's just personality disorder. If that's indeed what people are struggling with, they don't operate or respond how, others of us do, especially if it's not being worked on, if they're just
Right, and I was just about to say that. So the bigger goal for me, of course, number one is to make sure that you all get this book, because the sister took time to write it, and Brinkley to do her piece in it, and for them to put it out. That's the first thing. But the second piece that I just really take so much pride in, and because Mimi did it, is to speak to the part of therapy, couples and family therapy. Courtney and I are both couples and family therapists. So like that's our focus, like couples and marriage. Oh, that's it. That excites me. Right. So like to even know that this is a book, that's exciting. But it's even more exciting when you can have someone to say, well, damn, I do all of that same stuff. I might need to get some help. And that's a magical spiritual moment when you get somebody that deals with some of these issues to say, man, maybe I need help. My first relationship didn't work. My second relationship didn't work. My third marriage didn't work. Here I am doing the same shit in the fourth marriage, and it definitely ain't working because she wrote a whole book about it. And on the front of it, she even said he still ain't get it right. Maybe I should call Courtney. Maybe I should call Woo because I'm not getting it. So if that's you and you want to like go ahead and take advantage of the opportunity to sit down and talk to somebody and dig through your stuff, unpack your stuff, and figure out what it is that causes you to have these traits or have these desires and these things that you do that drive other people nuts. Right. Call us. Yeah. Call us.
Call them. Don't be scared to call them. They're giving you the door is open. Woo, there and Courtney, the door is open. So don't be scared. Even if you just want to inbox them, guys, do it. I promise y'all it will help y'all a lot.
And it's just like this. I can guarantee you my sessions are almost just like this. Absolutely. Like just, it's just like this with some therapeutic stuff. Mimi, they can get the book at where?
Amazon.com with the fourth wife. Just type that in, or Mimi Williams, or you can just contact me and I can see about getting a book to you.
Last question. Are you going to date again? You thinking about marriage ever again?
On down the road, maybe one day, but that's why I went with my necklace,
You got an open heart.
Yeah, to let love come in. So I'm not going to let him I just want to make sure I'm all straight, where I'm not pulling nothing from that relationship into a new one. I just need to have myself right. I strongly suggest everybody get their stuff. Don't blame somebody for what they're doing. Get your shit together first before you enter into a relationship with somebody, because you got to compromise, because it just can't be I. It's got to be us, we, not just I.
Awesome. So thank you once again. Thank you so much for just taking this approach. I know other interviews are probably just like, girl, I read on page 62, blah, blah, blah. Nah, this one is like, we're going to do some digging. We're going to give people the real about what's behind this book. Not only do they want to buy it, but they want to have a conversation. That's where we are right now. So this was really rewarding for me and just really eye-opening, because you shared some things past our family link to just talk about like what's real. This is how I feel right now. Courtney brought out some awesome points. Like I can feel your energy. I feel that this is still very much present, and releasing the book makes it even more present. That don't mean y'all don't need to buy it though. You still need to buy it. She didn't say that part. She didn't say don't buy it. So we definitely still want you to buy it. Get the book, pass it along, make sure people, make sure people get it. And then if you're in one of those relationships, she even shared some of her own thoughts about like what that felt like to be in that type of relationship. Mimi's narcissistic checklist, like check it out. That's what she said. So if this is what you're experiencing, that may not be the diagnosis that your person gets or that you get, maybe not. But if those traits seem familiar and you want to talk about them, there are people available to talk about them. Before we go, Courtney, you want to give your contact information?
Yes. My number, I can be contacted at 205-201-1012. And then my website is www.purposed.hopecounseling.com.
Let me see if I can cook that up right quick before we go.
Go on, plug.
Let me see.
Don't forget, guys, join the live group on Facebook too, because I put more text messages and pictures and stuff in there as well.
Okay.
PurposeHopeCounseling.com.
Oh, damn, see? That's what happens when you don't pre-produce. Okay. PurposeHopeCounseling.com for Courtney Shields, couples and family therapist. I am Woo. Y'all know me. You can call me directly at 205-452-0111. 205-452-0111. I prefer text. It's easier that way. I can hit you up right quick. Then I'll call you once we start conversation. You can also go to Facebook and look up Vital Life Family Counseling. Okay. Mimi, I'm going to
Yes,
put you up there by yourself. Any final words that you have for the people?
Well, for me, I just want everybody to get the help that they need, or for if you think you may have these traits as being a narcissist, just try to get some help, because we all need it. Don't be scared, don't be afraid. But sometimes a narcissist, they won't even get help at all. But for the people who are dealing in those type of relationships, just Google, being in a relationship with a narcissist. You can get all the information you need as well. And like Woo, and they can help you too. So please don't hesitate. Just give them a call if you're struggling in a relationship right now, or if you already got out of it and need someone to talk to, get their help. You really need to get their help.
Here it is, the fourth wife. Imagine meeting the love of your life and everything is going great until it's too late. Finding yourself trapped into a marriage you can't seem to get out of. From lies and turmoil to triumph, Mimi found a way out to find her true self. Discover the powerful story about the dangers of a narcissistic relationship. The fourth wife. Everybody, it's been awesome tonight. Hope you got some information that you needed. Hopefully you went and bought the book. If you haven't done it yet, go ahead and do it now. Be sure to check us out on Sunday nights at 7 p.m. on V94.9 for the Abby Award-winning Vital Show. I'm there. Courtney's there. Blue's there. Say's there. Marlisi is there. Other people are there. Join us for the show. Mimi will be down to the vault. If they don't have it, we're just going to come have a drink and kick it. How about that? Wear your mask. Yes, wash your hands. Buy the book. Y'all have an awesome night. Share the video. If you have any questions, join the Facebook group, The Fourth Wife. I'm Lady Woo. It's been real. Y'all have a good night.
Good night.
Love you, Woo.
Love you too, boo.